Ladies and gentlemen, Democratic Senator John Fetterman seems to be slowly drifting away from the left. You see, just the other day, Senator Fetterman made an appearance on The View, and let's just say the ladies of The View weren't so happy with everything he had to say. But hey, let's just jump right into things. So to kick things off, let's take a look at how Senator Fetterman thinks the Trump presidency is going so far.
So, but are you surprised at anything you've been seeing, or do you anticipate that there's going to be changes that we should be prepped for that we're not thinking about?
Honestly, I haven't been surprised by anything now. He's been doing essentially what he actually campaigned on that. He announced he is going to pardon the J6 individuals. He is going to absolutely go after the border. So there's a lot of things that he's already ran on. Criticized a lot of it, and I don't agree with everything either, but it's undeniable he actually ran on that and been really upfront. He's like, I am your reputation, and he's, kind of making those moves. So that's kind of where we're at. Early on, immediately after the election, I was like, hey, we have a choice. We can freak out and follow every other thing around, like a cat, with a laser after everyone. But I'm not that guy. I'm not going to be that Democrat. For me, there's things I'm going to agree with, I'm going to disagree with, but I'm in the business of finding wins for Pennsylvania and for the nation, and engaging the president. I think I see that as doing my job.
So you know what he's saying? Senator Fetterman is saying that Trump is pretty much keeping all of his campaign promises so far. That's what he's saying. Now, check this out. Trump actually invited Fetterman down to Mar-a-Lago last week to have a one-on-one meeting, which makes sense. Trump is the president and Fetterman is a senator. This is exactly what should be happening right now. That said, some members of the left weren't so happy about this meeting down at Mar-a-Lago.
You did get a lot of criticism for it from some people who thought you going to Mar-a-Lago gives cover to Trump by creating the solution that he's amenable to working with Democrats.
You hear that? If you're a Democratic politician who meets with Trump in order to work together, as you should, by the way, you're at risk of spreading this dangerous narrative that Trump is willing to work with the Democrats. Well, he is. He's the president. That's what he's doing. That's his job. And you're a senator. You should be doing that as well. You got to reach across the aisle to get stuff done. These people on the left are absolutely insane.
I didn't love the optics of you going to Mar-a-Lago. He was going to, which is his palace. He was going to be in Washington a week later. But what was your goal? And do you feel ultimately you were successful?
Well, here's what happened. I was being lazy on the couch like Friday night, and my team reached out saying, hey, and I don't know if this is like a trolling or a hoax, but they extended an invitation. What do you think? I'm like, well, if they're playing it straight, then I think it's pretty reasonable to have a conversation, inviting me to engage, and I visited it.
And good for him. He's a senator. He got elected to represent the people and hopefully make the country a better place. Well, guess what? In order to do that, in order to do his job as a senator, he's going to have to meet with and negotiate with the president. Guess who that is? President Trump. And I have to say, what's so crazy about this criticism is that it's always the Democrats that are the ones screaming about how important it is to be bipartisan and to work together and bridge these gaps. Well, when one of their own actually goes down to do that, guess what? They lose their freaking minds. Go figure. But now I do want to say really quick, guys, if you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really does help a lot. But okay, now check this out. This is the part of the video where they start accusing him of moving to the right, questioning him whether or not he's considering becoming a dreaded Republican.
Now, there are those on the left who feel like you have made a rightward shift recently, going to Mar-a-Lago, joining Truth Social, your positions on issues like immigration, fracking. What do you say to those who are now, in a sense, questioning your commitment to the Democratic Party?
Yeah, because God forbid Fetterman tries to maintain a line of communication with Republicans in order to get things done, or God forbid he takes an issue with never-ending waves of illegal immigrants.
And so right word, that's just happened not to be true. I've been on record too saying I am not going to become a Republican. You know, although maybe some people might be happy on one side, but I would make a pretty terrible Republican because, you know, pro-choice, really strong immigration, pro-LGBTQ, you know, just pretty like, I don't think I'd be a good fit. So I'm not going to change my party. And if I am going to I'm going to show up. I'll give you the exclusive.
And so here's my take on all of this. I think that Fetterman is pretty much just ideologically a late 90s, early 2000s Democrat. And so what's happened is not that Fetterman has moved right. That's not the case. It's that his entire party has moved to the radical left. In fact, he hasn't moved at all. He's just gotten left behind. And I actually think that there are tons of middle-aged or older Democrats just like this all across the country that locked in their party affiliation 20, 30, 40 years ago. They said, I'm a Democrat, and they haven't really kept up to date with just how insane their party has gotten over the last couple years. Now, I'm not saying that the Democrats of the 90s or early 2000s were geniuses by any means, but hey, compared to the far-left radical progressives we have today, in retrospect, all of those Democrats look like Albert Einstein. But okay, what I'm about to show you guys next is probably the highlight of the video. You see, at one point, Fetterman very casually mentions that weaponization of the justice system is not a good thing. And what you can actually see is Sunny Hostin, who's sitting right next to him, progressively lose her mind second by second. Take a look.
I just for clarification, did you mean that the 34 count case in which Donald Trump was found guilty of various financial crimes was politically motivated here in New York?
I found that when the judicial system gets weaponized and targeted political enemies for political gain, I think that's inappropriate, and I think that degrades our collective trust in this a very important institution, whether that's on a Democratic going after a Republican or a Republican going after a Democratic one. And I like to think I call it strikes and balls, because the judicial system has to remain impartial. I mean, that's really the cornerstone of our society.
Would that...
Did you see her face? I'm going to bring it up on screen here. Guys, we are living in the best timeline. I feel like now that Trump is back in office, every single day, things just keep on getting better and better. We just keep on winning. And really, as we all know, that's what's best for the country. These radical progressives that Fetterman seems to be slowly distancing himself from, by the way, were hell-bent on destroying the country. And as we all saw just over the last 4 years, they came pretty close to doing it. And so now, as the country finally makes a return to normalcy, all of these radical progressives have had their bubble of delusion burst. Their entire ideology has been rejected by American voters nationwide. And for the ones that didn't get the memo, they're just left sitting there like Sunny Hostin, like, huh? What do you mean weaponization of the justice system is a bad thing? But hey, I think that's all I've got for you guys today. I want to know what you guys have to say, so please go down below and drop a comment in the comment section. Please like the video if you liked it. Please consider subscribing. It really does help a ton. Thank you all very much for watching, and of course, as always, stay safe.